Hello everyone and welcome to not one, not two, but three movie reviews in one video. A few days ago I went to the theaters for the first time in a while, and I saw three of the newest movies that are out right now playing. I saw Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga, Bad Boys Ride or Die, and then In a Violent Nature, which is a movie. If you've seen a couple of the videos on this channel, you know I was excited for that, so I finally got to see it. All three movies, pretty good. Not a single bad movie there, but I'm going to go over them one by one. So let's not waste any more time, let's get started. The first movie I saw around 11 a.m., I saw Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga, and I'm just gonna come out and say it, definitely not as good as Fury Road, but like, Fury Road's a borderline masterpiece, so I didn't expect it to, but it still has the style, the cool action. It just has more of a, I guess, like, thorough character to follow. Like, in Fury Road, we had Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron, Furiosa and Max, and, you know, we see them doing cool things and helping each other out, but there's not, like, a super solid, like, character deep dive or story or anything like that, really. We get a glimpse of that with, like, Max, maybe, where he wasn't able to save some people in his past, and it kind of haunts him. But Furiosa is definitely way more character-driven. The first 30 or so minutes of the movie, we get to spend time with young Furiosa. I thought we were going to go, like, right out of the gate with Anya Taylor-Joy in there. But, no, we get young Furiosa. We get to see that she was abducted, and just like her upbringing and what made her the badass that she became. I'm not sure how many revenge type movies I've seen, but this is a very, very good one. I already mentioned Anya Taylor-Joy. She does great as Furiosa in this, doesn't speak much in the beginning, kind of, you know, keeps her identity hidden for a little bit, but then once she starts like talking a bit more, she's, you know, very like straight, serious, just like no bullshitting around. She's great in this. Chris Hemsworth as Dementis, dude, Chris Hemsworth is, like, great as, like, this insane bad guy. And sticking with Mad Max tradition, there are a lot of cool action sequences. In Mad Max Fury Road, you had people on, like, poles, like, you know, diving in and getting some kills and whatnot. This time you have, like, gliders, people, like, stringing along gliders on the back of their vehicles, and they're flying through the air, landing on people, trying to, like, throw bombs at one another. Maybe it was because it was 11 a.m. and the movie is, like, 2.5 hours long. But during some of it, I felt like I was kind of falling out of it, like staring into space at some points. But once the action picked up, I was locked in again. But just, I don't know, something about this movie, I was kind of like falling in and out of it. But I still really did like it. I would say if you liked Mad Max Fury Road, even if you're not a fan of like prequels or, you know, like origin story type movies, this is still a very good movie just by itself. Even if you haven't seen Fury Road, this would be the perfect starter to it. Go watch this and watch Fury Road. It's on like Max or something like that. Make it a double feature. But yeah, we're going to move on to the second movie. The second movie I saw was Bad Boys Ride or Die. I did not even realize that they were making a fourth Bad Boys movie. I have seen the first two. I knew there was a third one, but just never got around to seeing it. I wasn't a big Bad Boys fan or anything like that. But since I was like, hell, Bad Boys Ride or Die lines up with the two movies I already want to see. Let's get familiar with the lore of Bad Boys, so I rewatched Bad Boys 1 and 2 and the third one, and I was ready for Ride or Die. Bad Boys is really consistent, like, each movie, pretty funny. The first one, not the biggest fan of, but it's still a very solid, like, action comedy. Bad Boys 2 has a lot more, like, crazier things happening. It seems like there are, like, tons of extra things happening, but it also is a bit funnier than the first one. And then surprisingly enough, with like a giant, what, like 15-year time jump maybe? Bad Boys for Life, Bad Boys 3, which now that I'm thinking about it, Bad Boys for Life, that could have really done great as like the fourth movie, but maybe they didn't know they were going to make a fourth. I don't know. But Bad Boys 3 is very funny as well and might be just as good, maybe not as good, but it's up there with 2 for me. But we're not here to talk about Bad Boys 1, 2, and 3. We're here to talk about Bad Boys 4, Bad Boys Ride or Die. I'm just gonna say this. This was the movie of the day for me. Furioso, action-packed, great revenge movie. In a Violent Nature, we'll get to it, nice little horror movie. Bad Boys Ride or Die had everything. Not horror, but the action was really cool. The comedy was on point. Martin Lawrence is like, he's killing it as Marcus, and Will Smith, I wasn't a big fan of him as Mike in the third one. He was kind of being like real stubborn, which I get that's kind of his character. But Marcus was the highlight of Bad Boys 3. This time, Will Smith and Marcus equally both really shined. And I don't know how many hardcore Bad Boys fans there are going to be that watch this video. But this is my favorite Bad Boys movie. I did not expect the fourth one. The movie I didn't even know existed until a week ago. Bad Boys Ride or Die was so much fun. You got a dude in prison hitting a tornado DDT. You got Reba McEntire being mentioned. They even have a freaking giant albino alligator in the ending. And even Reggie's back, and Reggie kicks ass. Bad Boys Ride or Die has everything I love about the first three Bad Boys, but it just ties it together so nicely. In every Bad Boys movie, Martin Lawrence's character Marcus, he is stressing the hell out, and reasonably so. This is the first movie he is like, his whole thing is like, I'm not afraid of anything. It's not my time to die. I can't die. Usually it's kind of risky to bring in new characters to be like regulars in a franchise that's already loved by a lot. But everybody is so cool in this. There's a flaming van scene, which reminds me of the flaming truck from The Strangers Prey at Night, which is a very good slasher movie, home invasion kind of movie. So seeing a flaming vehicle slowly roll down like an alleyway gave me flashbacks to Strangers Prey at Night, and I really like that. But I think a big reason of why I love this movie so much is just how shocking it was. Like I said, I didn't even know they were making a Bad Boys 4, didn't see a trailer. There's also stakes in this movie. There were stakes in Bad Boys 3, you know, with characters getting killed. Usually some franchises don't want to kill off too many characters, but Bad Boys 3 and 4 make some big kills. Also, the storyline for Bad Boys 4 revolves around one of my favorite characters from the franchise. So, just everything about Bad Boys Ride or Die. I don't know if this all sounds like dumb rambling for people that don't know what Bad Boys is, which, how could you not? This movie is so much fun. They hit all the beats like they do in every Bad Boys movie. You know, Will Smith and Martin Lawrence saying, like, that's that shit right there. Throughout the movie, they're always singing, like, the Bad Boys song, getting the lyrics wrong. You know, it's a bunch of fun. They hit all the beats they need to. Everything about this just worked. And now we have come to our final movie that I saw. In a Violent Nature. Now, I heard all the reviews going into it. This was one of my most anticipated movies for this year, along with, like, Abigail, which I missed out on by a week, and I'm mad as hell. I knew going into this movie that In a Violent Nature would have a lot of walking, and a lot of just, like, slow-paced, pretty much everything, and I'm totally down for that. That's what I wanted, that's what it was advertised as, and that's what I wanted, and I got it. They follow, you know, the POV, back of the killer's head, you know, some shots in the distance, but still just keeping up with our killer, Johnny, walking around, doing his thing. Obviously, the highlight of this movie are some of the kills, some of the gnarliest kills I've seen in any horror movie. I heard during, like, a screening or something, a couple of people threw up. Who knows if that's true? They said the same thing for Terrifier 2, which that movie didn't do anything for me. This legitimately, one kill in particular, and if you've seen the movie or if you've seen clips, you know which kill I'm talking about, the yoga kill. I could see people throwing up. I was watching this kill and being like, this is the one people threw up at. And then in the back of my head, there was a voice saying, what if you throw up, Nick? What if you threw up right now? And then, you know, my stomach started making a little noise. I was like, oh my god, did I just, like, psych myself into throwing up? So I looked away for a couple seconds, and I looked right back. A couple in my theater, they walked out. Like I said, this movie isn't for everybody. It is pretty slow. If you're not really into horror, or you're just checking out this movie because it's a new movie and you want to see what it's about, you might not like it. The kills are great. The effects are great. Some kills are off screen and a little lame, but what are you gonna do? There are two main things that make me not love this movie as much as I wanted to. I still really did enjoy it, so I wouldn't say I was disappointed. Now, the first thing is that I get that they needed to do this. They had the young adults or teens, whatever they're supposed to be, sitting by a campfire telling the story of Johnny's origin about, like, him getting accidentally killed and yada yada. Now he comes back and kills people and whatnot. But they kind of drop the following the serial killer thing for a bit and kind of have, like, a 360 shot of the campers or whatever you want to call them around the campfire, which is cool, but it goes on for, like, what feels like 10 minutes, and they probably could have summarized it or shot it in a way to where you kept the theme with it being at the back of his head or pointing in the distance. We do get a few cool shots when the campers are talking, like they take a picture and you can see Johnny in the background. That's pretty cool. It's like, this movie is a roller coaster. For every, like, oh my god, this is awesome, we get a bit of a kind of slow, like, this isn't too great, but I'm fine with it. Then the second thing for me is the ending. I get the ending and I don't want to spoil it, but, you know, the whole message is in a violent nature. This lady's telling a story about a bear attack, and the bear didn't care that the guy was dead. He just thought he killed him, and the bear moved on. And that's what animals do. They don't really care about reasonings and anything like that. And I get, yeah, because he's a slasher serial killer that's, like, I guess undead or whatever. He doesn't care, and he kills just to kill. And I get that, but I kind of wanted something more for an ending. I think the ending is okay, but I just wanted a bit more. That's really the main thing about this movie. I wanted a bit more, and I really wanted them to hammer in on the following the slasher from behind. They do that a lot, and I'm happy, but they kind of like stray away from it a little bit, and I get they kind of need to do that. But the movie is still worth a watch in my opinion. Maybe not for everybody, like I said. I feel like it's gonna get a Skinamarink kind of vibe where some people are like, the ambiance, the feeling when you're watching it, it's so freaking cool, bro. I haven't seen it, but every clip and every like review of it, just I don't think I could sit through an hour and 45 minutes of like staticky looking at this like distorted blue filtered hallway with like kids talking in the background or whatever the hell Skinamarink is. Maybe one day I'll give it a watch. In a Violent Nature might be in that category of like, who the hell would want to watch this? Me personally, I would watch that falling asleep. The sounds, the ASMR noises of like a serial killer marching through the forest. Hell yeah, I'll put that on when I go to sleep. That's my slasher sounds to fall asleep to, 24-hour loop right there. If they decide to bring Johnny back, get some more kills, hell yeah. I don't know how much longer In a Violent Nature will stay in theaters. I can only imagine it won't be in there for much longer. But if you get the chance to go see it, I'd say it's worth a watch. If you're really into horror, I think you might dig this, or maybe you might absolutely hate it. Who knows? And there you go. Those are 3 movies I saw all in the same day at one theater, just to add to my 2024 movies list. I'm a little bit behind, but I'm catching up whenever things come to streaming or just whenever I'm able to go to the theater. I'm trying to watch anything that jumps out at me as something that's even remotely interesting. And so far, 2024 has been an alright year for movies. Some big boys in there, I will say. But I hope you enjoyed. I'd say Bad Boys Ride or Die, favorite movie of the year so far. Furiosa, really, really good. Maybe if I give it a rewatch, I'd say I maybe would consider that my favorite movie of the year. But so far, Bad Boys Ride or Die, it just came out in theaters like a week ago, so you'll have some time to see it. I think it had a really good like first weekend at the box office. I think it like got over 100 million already. Damn. Go watch Bad Boys Ride or Die. Go watch the first 3. Go see this in theaters. This thing kicks ass. Thank you for watching. Let me know which one of these 3 movies, if you've seen them, which one you like the most, and I will see you in the next video, whatever that may be. Probably a movie review. That's just my best guess. Okay, goodbye.